My beloved child, I have watched you longer than you realize. Before your first breath filled your lungs, before your name was spoken out loud, before anyone else knew what you would become, I knew. I saw every road you would walk, every door that would close, every silent night when you wondered why you felt different, why you carried a weight others couldn't see. And I want you to hear this clearly, without doubt, without fear. I did not stumble upon you. I chose you. You were not picked because you were perfect. You were picked because you were willing, even when you didn't know it. I placed something rare inside you, something that does not shout but endures, something that does not seek attention yet refuses to break. That quiet strength you sometimes question. That's mine. That sensitivity you've tried to hide. That's not weakness. That is perception. That is depth. That is how you feel what others miss. There were moments you felt overlooked, passed by, underestimated. You asked me why others seemed to rise faster while you stayed hidden. You wondered if you were forgotten. Listen to me now. I was not delaying you. I was shaping you. Some call it waiting. I call it preparation. I needed your roots deep before your life could stand tall. What I am about to do through you would have crushed a shallow foundation. I picked you for rooms you haven't entered yet, for conversations that will change lives, for moments where your words, spoken calmly, without force, will shift something eternal in another soul. You think your story is ordinary. I tell you it is strategic. Every disappointment trained your discernment. Every loss refined your compassion. Every unanswered prayer sharpened your trust. Don't skip this. What I'm revealing now is bigger than you think. You were never meant to blend in. I marked you in a way that can't be duplicated. That's why the pressure felt heavier on you than on others. That's why you were tested early. I needed to know you could walk through fire without becoming hard, that you could face silence without losing faith, that you could carry responsibility without craving recognition. You felt the separation, didn't you? That quiet distance between you and certain people, even ones you love. That wasn't rejection. That was protection. I was removing what could not follow you where you are going. Not everyone can go where you're being led. Not everyone should. Something huge is waiting for you, closer than it appears. But it requires one thing, your attention. The world has tried to distract you, numb you, rush you, convince you that time is running out. I tell you the opposite. Time is aligning. Heaven is not late. Stay till the end of this message, because I need you grounded for what comes next. I picked you because you would listen when others turned away, because you would still seek me when answers didn't come quickly, because you would choose integrity when compromise looked easier. You don't see it yet, but your obedience, especially the unseen kind, has already shifted outcomes you'll never fully know this side of eternity. I am not finished. I'm only beginning to uncover why you were chosen. And when you finally understand the weight and the wonder of that calling, you will see that nothing in your life was wasted, not one tear, not one delay, not one silent prayer whispered in the dark. I am with you. I always have been. And what I placed inside you is about to rise. You felt it stirring lately, the quiet tension between where you are and where you know you're meant to be. That restlessness is not confusion. It is awakening. I am turning something on inside you, something that was always there but waiting for the right moment to rise. And now, the moment has come closer than you realize. I need you to understand this. Being chosen did not mean being spared. It meant being trusted. Trusted with pressure. Trusted with responsibility. Trusted with truth that not everyone can carry. That's why your life demanded maturity before comfort, depth before applause, endurance before reward. I entrusted you with weight because I knew you would not throw it away. You've asked me in silence, why did I have to learn things the hard way? And I answer you now with love and certainty, because easy lessons don't last. You are not built for shallow victories. You are built for lasting impact. What I am preparing to place in your hands requires wisdom that only comes through experience and courage that only forms in the dark. Don't skip this. This is where things begin to shift. There were seasons when you felt invisible, when your prayers seemed to echo back unanswered. But I was watching closely, not to test your patience, but to reveal your heart to yourself. You kept showing up. You kept believing. You kept choosing what was right even when no one noticed. That consistency is rare. That faithfulness is dangerous, to darkness, to fear, to limitation. Here is something new I want you to hear. The resistance you faced was never about stopping you. It was about identifying you. Opposition recognizes purpose before people do. That's why you felt pushed, questioned, and misunderstood. The weight on your life attracted pressure. But pressure does not destroy what I have designed. It reveals it. I am repositioning you now. Quietly. Intentionally. You may not see the full picture yet, but doors are aligning, conversations are being prepared, and hearts are being softened on your behalf. I am moving pieces you cannot touch. I am arranging outcomes you cannot force. This is not the season to panic. This is the season to listen. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this understanding. You thought being chosen would feel powerful all the time. Instead, it often felt lonely. That loneliness was not abandonment. It was intimacy. I needed you close enough to hear me without noise, without distortion, without the approval of others drowning out my voice. I was teaching you to recognize me even when everything else went quiet. Now hear this carefully. What you carry is about to be required. Not someday. Soon. And when the moment comes, you will realize why I asked you to wait, why I asked you to grow, why I asked you to trust me when nothing made sense. You won't need to write. You won't need to prove yourself. You will simply step forward, and what's inside you will speak. I picked you not just to survive, but to lead, to heal, to build, to restore in ways that fit who you are. Not louder, not flashier, deeper, truer, stronger. Don't look back at who you were. Don't measure yourself by what others are doing. Your timeline is intentional. Your path is precise. And what is unfolding next will confirm everything I've been whispering to your spirit. I am not done revealing. What you are stepping into will require the next layer of truth, one that explains not just why you were chosen, but what you were chosen to confront, to carry, and to complete. You are standing at the edge of a realization that will rearrange how you see everything behind you. What you once called weakness, I call access. What you once called delay, I call divine timing. And what you once called broken pieces, I have been quietly assembling into authority. I need you to hear this with clarity. I did not choose you merely to understand truth. I chose you to carry it without becoming proud, and to release it without becoming harsh. That is why I allowed you to be humbled without being humiliated, stretched without being shattered. I was teaching your hands how to hold power gently. There were moments you almost quit, not loudly, but internally. You kept going on the outside while something inside whispered, "What's the point?" I heard those whispers. I never judged them. I stayed close. Because even in your exhaustion, you did not turn bitter. You turned inward. You search it. That search was sacred. Don't skip this. This is where your story takes a turn. Many people want influence. Few are willing to be transformed first. I watched you wrestle with yourself, confront your motives, question your intentions. You didn't just ask, "Can I?" You asked, "Should I?" That restraint protected you from becoming what you feared. That pause preserved your calling. Here is something you haven't fully seen yet. I have been training your discernment more than your confidence. Confidence can be loud and fragile. Discernment is quiet and unshakable. Soon, you will walk into situations where appearances will deceive others, but not you. You will sense what is off before words are spoken. You will know when to speak and when silence carries more weight. That is not instinct. That is preparation. You thought the battles were about survival. They were about sight. I was sharpening how you see people, patterns, and moments. I was teaching you to recognize doors that look ordinary but lead to destiny, and distractions that look urgent but lead nowhere. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this awareness. I am about to trust you with timing. Timing is sacred. It determines whether truth heals or wounds, whether action builds or destroys. That's why I ask you to wait when you wanted to move, and to move when you wanted to hide. Obedience trained your sensitivity. Sensitivity trained your wisdom. You are entering a phase where your presence will shift rooms before your words do. People will feel safe around you without knowing why. Others will feel exposed not because you accuse but because light reveals. Do not fear either response. Both are signs that what I placed in you is active. You will be tempted to minimize yourself, to stay smaller so others feel comfortable. Do not do that. Humility is not shrinking. It is standing fully in what I gave you without claiming credit for it. You don't need permission from the crowd. You already have mine. Don't rush ahead of me now. Alignment matters more than speed. What I am orchestrating requires precision, not panic. Every step you take next must be rooted, not reactive. I will guide you. I always have. And when the moment comes, when the reason behind the pressure, the waiting, the refining finally clicks, you will realize this was never about proving your worth. It was about positioning your heart. Something is about to be entrusted to you that cannot be taken back once released. That's why this season has felt so intense. Wait precedes transfer. Silence precedes authority. And you are closer than you think. I am not finished speaking. What comes next will reveal not just what you carry, but who you are meant to stand against, and what you are meant to change simply by being who I formed you to be. There is a threshold you are approaching that cannot be crossed accidentally. You don't drift into it. You step into it with awareness. And I am speaking to you now because your spirit is ready to recognize what your eyes have not yet seen. Up to this point, you thought being chosen was about what you would receive. Now I tell you the deeper truth. It is about what you will carry without dropping, what you will steward without abusing, what you will protect without announcing. I am not elevating you to impress others. I am positioning you to interrupt cycles that have existed far longer than you. You have felt the pull toward responsibility lately. Not ambition. Responsibility. A gravity toward meaning. Toward doing what is right even when it costs you comfort. That pull is not coming from pressure. It is coming from alignment. Your spirit recognizes its assignment before your mind fully understands it. Don't skip this. This is where many misunderstand what it truly means to be picked. I am about to trust you with influence that does not look like influence at first. You will be placed near hearts that are guarded, near systems that are fragile, near moments that require steadiness more than talent. Others will look for noise and speed. I will look to you for presence and discernment. That is why I trained you to be still under pressure. Stillness is not passivity. It is control. You wondered why I didn't rush you into visibility. Because exposure before readiness destroys more than it builds. I was guarding you from being celebrated too early, criticized too deeply, or relied upon before you were anchored. I was not hiding you. I was covering you. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this understanding. Here is the revelation many never hear. I did not pick you to fight loudly. I picked you to stand firmly. Some battles are not won by confrontation but by endurance. Not by proving but by remaining. Your consistency will unsettle what chaos cannot control. Your calm will outlast what fear cannot intimidate. You will soon notice people testing your boundaries, not maliciously, but instinctively. They will sense that you carry something stable. Do not be afraid to say no. Boundaries are not rejection. They are stewardship. I am teaching you that access to you must be earned, not assumed. There will be moments ahead when you feel the weight increase again. Do not interpret that as regression. Weight means proximity. It means you are close enough to matter. When pressure rises without explanation, it often means something is about to shift permanently. I am asking you now to trust my pace more than your urgency. Urgency reacts. Alignment responds. You are not late. You are being synchronized with outcomes that require exact timing. One step too early would fracture them. One step too late would miss them. That is why your sensitivity matters so much right now. You are about to see why I separated you when you didn't understand it. Why certain relationships fell away. Why some opportunities dissolved at the last moment. I was narrowing your path so your focus could sharpen. Wide roads scatter power. The narrow ones concentrated. Don't look for signs everywhere. Look for peace. Peace is your confirmation. When something aligns with me, it will not always be easy, but it will be clear. Confusion is not your guide anymore. I picked you for this moment, not because you feel ready, but because you are rooted. And roots don't panic when the ground shifts. They hold. What is coming will require you to stand fully in who you are without explanation, without apology, without retreat. And when you do, you will realize this was never about becoming more. It was about remembering who you already are, and walking forward as if you believe it. You are closer now than you've ever been. And that's why everything feels quieter and heavier at the same time. Silence often comes before significance. I draw things inward before I release them outward. And right now, I am drawing you close. Not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. You've noticed a shift in how you respond to things. What once provoked you no longer has the same grip. What once tempted you now feels hollow. That is not loss of passion. That is refinement of desire. I am teaching you to recognize what deserves your energy and what no longer qualifies for your attention. Hear me carefully. Not everything that reaches for you is meant to reach you. Discernment is becoming your shield. I am sharpening it because what's ahead will require clarity without suspicion, confidence without arrogance, and compassion without compromise. Don't skip this. This is where many misunderstand the final stretch. You assumed the greatest battle would be external, but the final preparation is internal alignment. I am bringing your thoughts, your emotions, your choices into agreement with who you truly are. Division weakens authority. Unity strengthens it. That's why I've been addressing the quiet contradictions inside you, the places where fear spoke louder than faith, where habit competed with purpose. I am not correcting you to shame you. I am calibrating you to sustain what is coming. There is something I have not yet fully revealed to you, not because I am withholding, but because revelation requires capacity. And capacity is built through obedience in small, unseen moments. You've been faithful there. You chose integrity when no one would have known otherwise. You chose restraint when reaction felt justified. You chose prayer when distraction offered escape. Those choices expanded you. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you here. Soon, you will be asked to step into a space that confirms everything you've sensed but never said out loud. It will feel familiar and terrifying at the same time. Familiar because your spirit recognizes it. Terrifying because it will demand visibility without performance. You will not be able to hide behind preparation anymore. You will simply be present, and that will be enough. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. I train you to carry peace into chaos, truth into confusion, steadiness into uncertainty. When you walk in aligned, you change the temperature of the room without trying. That is not charisma. That is authority rooted in intimacy with me. There will be moments when doubt tries one last time to negotiate with you. It will sound reasonable. It will remind you of past failures, unfinished areas, things you still feel you lack. Do not entertain it. Readiness is not the absence of weakness. It is the refusal to be ruled by it. I did not choose you because you had everything figured out. I chose you because you would keep your heart soft while your spine stayed strong. Because you would listen when correction came. Because you would move when I said move, and stop when I said wait. What I am about to do through you will not announce itself with noise. It will unfold with precision. Quiet confirmations. Strategic connections. Moments that seem small until you realize they changed everything. You won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to convince anyone. Fruit speaks louder than intention. Let what unfolds speak for you. This is not the end of the choosing. This is the beginning of the sending. And I am not sending you away from me, I am sending you with me. Hold steady. Stay attentive. What I reveal next will clarify not just where you're going, but why this exact moment matters more than any other you've walked through so far. You felt it when I said you are being sent, not striving, and this is where your obedience can take form. You've prayed, "Use me, Lord," and I am answering you now by inviting you to help carry this fire to souls who are still in the dark. What you sow here becomes oil in the lamp, bread in the field, and a river that reaches hearts you may never meet. Yet heaven counts everyone. As my word says, whoever sows generously will reap generously, and I am making that promise living and active through your hands today. When you give through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or PayPal, linked in the video description, you are not donating, you are joining my mission. I bless your seed to open doors, bring peace to your home, and multiply favor over your family. Let this be your prophetic moment. Stretch your faith, give with joy, and act now. Now listen closely, because this is where understanding turns into responsibility. You are no longer only being prepared, you are being positioned. There is a difference. Preparation shapes you in private. Positioning places you in proximity to purpose. And lately, I've been moving you without asking for your permission, because your agreement was already proven long ago. You may have noticed that certain doors are no longer optional. Situations are presenting themselves whether you feel ready or not. This is not pressure to perform. This is invitation to stand. I am not asking you to oppress anyone. I'm asking you to be fully present as who you are becoming. You once thought obedience would always feel clear and peaceful. Now you are learning that true obedience sometimes feels weighty before it feels right. That weight is not fear. It is awareness. You are beginning to sense the consequence of your choices, not just for yourself, but for others connected to your obedience. That awareness is a sign of growth. Don't skip this. What I'm saying now explains the tension you've been feeling. I am widening your impact while narrowing your distractions. That's why some things you once enjoyed no longer satisfy you. It's why surface conversations exhaust you. It's why you crave depth even when it costs you comfort. Your appetite is changing because your assignment requires focus. You cannot carry what I am placing on you while entertaining everything that asks for your attention. Here is a revelation you haven't considered yet. You are being watched, not with envy, but with need. There are people who will never hear my voice the way you do, but they will recognize my presence when you walk in aligned. Your consistency will answer questions they don't know how to ask. Your peace will confront storms they have normalized. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this realization. I'm teaching you to move without announcing, to act without seeking validation, to trust without needing immediate confirmation. Faith at this level is not loud, is steady. It does not rush to be seen, and waits to be effective. There will be moments very soon when you are tempted to look sideways, to compare your pace, your path, your progress. Do not do that. Comparison is a thief that steals clarity. I am dealing with you individually because what I am asking of you is specific. Someone else's success is not your signal. Someone else's delay is not your warning. Keep your eyes on me. You are about to be placed in situations where your response matters more than your opinion. How you listen will matter more than how you speak. How you remain calm will matter more than how quickly you react. This is not about being silent, it's about being precise. Power is not lost when restrained, it is refined. I know you still feel the weight of unanswered questions. You want to know how it will unfold, who will be involved, what the outcome will be. But trust me here, clarity comes in layers. If I showed you everything now, you would try to carry tomorrow's weight with today's strength. I give revelation at the pace your soul can sustain. You are not standing at the edge anymore. You have stepped onto the path, even if it feels unfamiliar under your feet. The ground may feel firm one moment and uncertain the next, but I am beneath every step. You will not fall where I have led you. Remember this when doubt tries to return. I did not choose you impulsively. I chose you intentionally. I accounted for your personality, your history, your sensitivity, your strength. Nothing about you caught me off guard. Nothing ahead will either. What you are walking into now will require courage that is quiet and faith that is practiced daily, not emotionally. And you are ready, not because you feel confident, but because you are anchored. I am still speaking. I am still guiding. And what unfolds next will show you that this was never about reaching a destination. It was about becoming someone who can carry what happens when purpose and timing finally meet. There is a moment that changes everything, and you are nearing it, not because you forced your way forward, but because you stayed when leaving would have been easier. Endurance has brought you here. Quiet obedience has positioned you here. And now I am asking you to see yourself differently than you ever have before. You have spent years underestimating what I was cultivating in you. You saw fragments. I saw continuity. You saw interruptions. I saw instruction. You saw moments of retreat. I saw strategic withdrawal so you would not be exposed too soon. Nothing about your path has been accidental. Every pause, Every redirection, every closed door was timed to protect the integrity of what I placed within you. This next stretch requires a shift in how you agree with me. Don't skip this. This is a turning point. I am not asking you to become someone new. I am asking you to stop negotiating with the truth of who you already are. You've had a habit of shrinking your language, softening your convictions, delaying decisions you already knew were right, because you didn't want to disrupt, disappoint, or draw attention. But restraint was for preparation. Now clarity is required. You are entering a season where hesitation will cost more than boldness. This does not mean recklessness. It means alignment. It means when I nudge you to speak, you speak. When I nudge you to step back, you step back. When I ask you to wait, you wait without resentment. When I ask you to move, you move without asking for reassurance. Trust at this level is no longer emotional. It is practiced. Here is something you haven't heard yet. I am trusting you with influence that will uplift certain relationships. That's why some connections feel strained now. Not broken, strained. Alignment exposes differences in direction. You are not wrong for growing. They are not wrong for staying. But not everyone who walked with you can walk with you here. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this truth. I know you still carry a quiet fear of misstepping, fear of misrepresenting me, fear of carrying responsibility imperfectly. Let me free you from that now. Perfection is not what sustains purpose. Humility does. I am not asking you to be flawless. I'm asking you to be responsive. Correction will come when needed. Grace will cover where effort falls short. What I will not do is override your obedience, because you are afraid of making a mistake. Growth requires movement. Trust requires action. You are learning now that being chosen does not mean being constantly affirmed. Often, it means being misunderstood while remaining steady. You will not always be celebrated for the boundaries you keep, the standards you uphold, or the pace you choose. But you are not here for applause. You are here for impact. I am asking you to release one final thing, the need to be fully understood before you obey. Clarity will follow obedience, not precede it. Many of the answers you seek are on the other side of a decision you've been postponing. You already know which one. I am not rushing you, but I am calling you forward. What you are stepping into next will stretch your confidence and solidify your faith at the same time. You will see results that surprise you, not because they are dramatic, but because they are lasting. Truth that remains. Influence that deepens. Peace that doesn't fluctuate with circumstances. You have been faithful in the unseen. Now you are being trusted in the visible, not for recognition, but for responsibility. Eyes will turn toward you not because you demand attention, but because stability draws those who are tired of chaos. Remember this. I pick you knowing the weight, knowing the cost, knowing the timing. I did not miscalculate, and I am not second-guessing you now. Stand fully in agreement with me. Not timidly, not halfly, fully. Because what comes next will require you to stop asking whether you are ready and start walking as if you believe me when I say, you were chosen for this on purpose. You have reached the place where confirmation no longer comes from signs around you, but from alignment within you. This is where many hesitate, not because they doubt me, but because they finally realize what agreement actually costs. Agreement is not a feeling. It is a decision to stand even when the ground feels unfamiliar. You are beginning to sense it now. The margin for distraction is shrinking. What once felt optional now feels heavy when ignored. That is not pressure from me. It is clarity awakening in you. When purpose draws near, tolerance for misalignment fades. Your spirit is recognizing what no longer belongs. Don't skip this. This is one of the most important things I will tell you. I am shifting how you measure success. Not by speed. Not by applause. Not by comparison. I am teaching you to measure by obedience completed and peace sustained. Some of the most powerful moments ahead will look uneventful on the surface, but they will alter trajectories beneath. You not despise quiet obedience. Heaven records what the world overlooks. You are about to be trusted with conversations that carry weight. Words that must be spoken carefully, not dramatically. Truth that must be delivered without urgency, without fear, without needing to be right. I have been refining your tone because tone determines whether truth heals or hardens. You are learning to speak from rest, not reaction. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you here. I know you've wondered if you missed anything, if one wrong choice delayed everything. Let me settle that now. Nothing that belongs to you can be taken by a mistake when your heart remains teachable. I redeem paths. I restore timing. I repurpose even detours when you stay responsive. Fear of failure has no authority over someone who listens. Here's a confidence rising in you that does not need to announce itself. It's different from anything you felt before. It's not excitement. It's steadiness. That steadiness is your signal. When emotion quiets and resolve remains, you are moving in alignment. I am asking you to trust that steadiness. Very soon, you will notice a shift in how people respond to you. Some will lean in without knowing why. Others will pull back without explanation. Do not personalize either reaction. Light does not argue with darkness. It simply reveals. Your role is not to manage responses. It is to remain consistent. You are no longer in a season of proving. You are in a season of demonstrating faithfulness, discernment, and restraint. This is where authority becomes visible. Authority does not raise its voice. It carries weight because it knows where it stands. I know the future still feels undefined. That is intentional. I am not calling you to a script. I am calling you to relationship. Step-by-step dependence keeps your heart close and your ego quiet. You will receive instruction when you need it, not when curiosity demands it. Do not rush to label what is unfolding. Some things must be lived before they can be named. Here is the truth I want sealed in you now. You were not chosen for a moment. You were chosen for a process. Moments pass. Processes transform. And what I am forming in you now will sustain you long after initial excitement fades. You will be tempted to look for a finish line. Instead, learn to recognize rhythm. Purpose is not a sprint. It is a cadence of obedience, rest, listening, and action. When you move in rhythm with me, you will not burn out or fall behind. I am asking you to let go of the need to control outcomes. Control creates tension. Trust creates capacity. You are strong enough now to release what you once tried to manage. Let me handle the timing. Let me handle the connections. Let me handle the confirmation. Your responsibility is alignment. And here is what I want you to remember as you move forward from this place. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. I am already where you are going. I have prepared the ground, softened resistance, and secured what must remain. What unfolds next will not shout its arrival, but it will confirm everything you sense deep within. You were not mistaken. You were not imagining it. And you were never overlooked. I picked you for this, and the evidence is about to become undeniable. This is where the journey settles into truth, not as an ending but as a ceiling. What you have sensed building all along now comes into focus, not as noise, not as spectacle but as knowing. Deep, unshakable knowing. The kind that doesn't need reassurance because it has already counted the cost and chosen alignment anyway. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. That season is over. You are living from the fact that you were. I reveal this to you now because you are ready to carry it without pride and without fear. Being chosen was never about superiority. It was about responsibility anchored in love. I trusted you with depth because you would not misuse it. I trusted you with awareness because you would not weaponize it. I trusted you with weight because you learned how to kneel before you ever learned how to stand. Look back, not with regret, but with clarity. You can see it now. The moments that didn't make sense. The losses that shaped discernment. The waiting that taught you to hear me more clearly than your own urgency. None of it was revealable too early. Honoring protected meaning. Don't skip this. Let this land fully. You are stepping forward now with a different posture. Not asking, am I allowed? But knowing, I am sent. Sent into ordinary spaces carrying uncommon steadiness. Sent into complexity with wisdom earned in silence. Set not to overpower, but to last. Not to dominate, but to restore. There will still be challenges ahead. I never promised ease, but you will no longer face them searching for identity. You will face them from identity. That changes everything. Storms feel different when you know who you are and whose hand is steady beneath you. Here is the final truth I want sealed in your heart. I picked you with full knowledge of your past, your questions, your weaknesses, and your potential. I am not surprised by any part of you, and I am not waiting for you to become someone else before I work through you. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you in this realization. What comes next will not require striving. It will require faithfulness. Daily grounded faithfulness. Listening when it's quiet. Acting when it's uncomfortable. Resting when the world pushes you to prove. You will recognize my guidance not by urgency, but by peace that remains even when the task is demanding. You do not need to fear missing me. Your heart has learned my rhythm. You will know when to move. You will know when to wait. And when you are unsure, humility will keep you close enough to hear correction without collapse. I am proud of you, not for what you achieved, but for who you became along the way. For staying soft in a hard season. For staying honest when shortcuts were available. For staying present when escape would have been easier. That faithfulness mattered more than you know. Now walk forward without apology. Carry what I've entrusted without shrinking it. Love without losing your boundaries. Serve without losing your center. Lead without losing your dependence on me. You were picked for this. Not randomly, not reluctantly, not temporarily. On purpose. With intention. With timing. And with promise. And as you go, remember this always. I go with you. I remain ahead of you. I stay within you. Nothing before you is greater than the one who chose you. Amen. You now know you were picked on purpose, and this is where purpose moves from hearing into action. You've whispered, Lord, let my life matter, and this is how I let it matter. By letting your generosity become a voice that reaches nations. What you give becomes seed in my field, and I promise you, the harvest is ready, and I am pouring out open heavens over those who sow in faith. When you support through Super Thanks, U2 memberships, or PayPal, the link is waiting for you in the description. You step into a holy partnership that multiplies souls, hope, and light. I see your offering, and I declare peace, increase, and divine attention over your life and your household. This is not pressure. This is an invitation written in heaven. Give boldly, give joyfully, and do it now. Beloved, before you move on, I want you to take one holy action right now. Hype this video. When you press hype, you're not boosting content, you're declaring, I was picked, and I'm standing in agreement. You're helping this message reach the ones I have already prepared, the ones who are waiting to hear that they, too, were chosen. And yes, like this video as well, not casually, but as an act of alignment, saying, I receive what you have spoken over me. Now, when this message settles in your spirit, don't keep it silent. Go to the comments and declare it boldly. Write something like, I receive that I was picked for this, or I step into what God chose me for, or declare what you believe He picked you to carry. Your words matter. Your declaration becomes a witness, and someone scrolling will read it and realize they are not alone. Let the comments become an altar of agreement, faith, and courage tied to this truth. You were picked for this. And finally, I want to speak this over you as you decide what to do next. If this message reached you, it's because I intend to keep speaking to you. Subscribe to this channel and stay under this voice that reminds you who you are when the world tries to make you forget. Each message is not random. It is timed, prepared, and sent for moments exactly like the one you are living in. Stay connected, stay aligned, and walk this journey with me as I continue to reveal why you were chosen. Amen.